Crime. Crime never sleeps. And neither do I. You see, I'm looking for a turnip. Turnip boy, to be exact. You see, he's gotten away with killing a god and tax evasion. Crimes I just can't ignore unless they were a corporation in America, and then I'd be willing to turn a blind eye to them. But as they say, crime never pays. Unless you're Turnip Boy, apparently, and then it pays. Hold on, let me look it up. Jeez, oh my god! I guess crime does pay, but it's not recommended. Turnip Boy resorts to another life of crime after committing tax evasion in his first game, this time recruited by Dillatini, who's assembled a ragtag crew to pull off the perfect heist. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is a roguelite top-down shooter akin to Hotline Miami. With the world now in ruins after Turnip Boy killed Onion, most of the food folk have taken refuge in Garlic's bank. And Garlic is essentially Joel Osteen during the floods. He hates poor people, and he views people that are merely seeking shelter as insignificant vermin. Dillatini is a pickle of opportunity though, and he is all about that sweet, sweet dough, and he's got his eyes set on the mother lode that's inside Garlic's bank. Turnip Boy goes in it alone every heist, meaning it's just you versus the bank security. The objective is to collect as much cash and items as possible and make it back to the van before the timer runs out, or when the timer runs out. Eventually, you will reach a roadblock that requires you to acquire more needed robbery tools like C4 and a pickaxe and even a laser pointer, and I know that doesn't really make sense. But that does give you a chance to get better loot. Failing to leave the bank in time will result in heavier armed police units being dropped from the ceiling, so you'll need to retreat rather quickly, because dying during a run causes you to drop all the items that you found, and you do lose a portion of the money that you stole. Returning to the hideout, money earned can be spent on upgrades and mission items. Going to the vending machine gives players a chance to spend money on modifiers like increased melee damage, trigger pull speed, tripping distance, and other things. Personally, I opted to max out my bullet damage and time allotted for the heist, as I felt these would actually help me further into the bank and help me get the most amount of money possible. You can also tweak your starting loadout by bringing the twins' guns. Enemies will drop guns of varying rarity, and recycling them with the twins offers experience points towards new weapons. At the beginning, you'll just have the standard sword and pistol, but if you bring the twins enough weapons, you'll eventually get access to things like shotguns that just completely melt enemies, but have a very decreased range, or even a crossbow for a really precise, powerful, and far shot. The variety of weapons found is also pretty expansive and really creative. There's guns that shoot records, and God, I really hope that's a reference to Sunset Overdrive. I love that game. A fish that you can slap people with, a cacti that shoot needles. I'll be honest, I wasn't really expecting that. I thought you were going to hit them with it. After a couple raids, you start to notice something is up with Garlic's bank. It's laid out weird, and there's a ton of different levels to it, and it really seems labyrinthian in nature. There's elevators that never seem to go to the same floor when you return, so you'll just kind of have to make several expeditions into the bank to get to the bigger safes. As you explore the deeper reaches of the bank, you'll find new areas, enemies, characters, quest lines, and bigger rewards. Each new area of the bank has its own theme and enemy variety, helping it feel fresh well after you've mastered the movement system. My favorite is where all the food folk have tried to make a new home for themselves. There's just a pleasant quaintness to the whole area I enjoy. Usually what's happening is Turnip Boy will progress to a new area, explore, but then find a path that is blocked by like a mission that requires an item that you can only buy at the black market computer back at the hideout. So again, you'll have to make even more trips into the bank to get enough money to buy that item. Beyond the main objective, there are a ton of side missions, and they are perfect for a game like this that has you going in and out of the same location over and over again. Most of them are really humorous in nature, and they don't care to take themselves too seriously. My personal favorite was an old woman who was just looking for her husband, and you're like, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you out. Presumably, though, he's run off with the divorce papers they were filing. But when you find him, it's this sad game of cat and mouse, where the mouse is old and crying that its marriage can still be saved. But that doesn't mean I didn't take those papers back to the lady. I had to finish that quest line. Thank you, man. Usually completing these missions will give you a random wearable. I opted for the 10-gallon hat, but I quickly changed my mind when I realized it took up pretty much all of my vertical vision. Each area also has a boss and a preceding boss fight, and I gotta say, they are incredibly fun and a good way to test the ability of the player. The small arenas in which they're held become claustrophobic, with enemy swarms and bosses shooting at you with bullet hell-like attacks. They become this frantic and intense shootout with you just trying to make each shot count. Defeating a boss will grant players an item to advance to the next area and further the story. Also, you can rerun the boss fights. Sometimes they will grant you a specific weapon that the boss used, but they come at the challenge of an increased difficulty, so, do it at your own risk. The story isn't very long. Most people can actually complete this game in about 4 hours. More like 5 to 6 if you're absolutely intent on finishing every side quest and maxing out Turnip Boy's skills and weaponry, but I don't feel that's necessary to finish the game. However, in that short time, Turnip Boy delivers a quirky and memorable experience from beginning to end that's fun, challenging, and incredibly rewarding. And even more so addicting. While I didn't play the first game, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, I certainly will now because I played this amazing game and I can't say nothing else but good things about it. So if you're looking to commit some crime casually and you've got an afternoon to spare, check out Turnip Boy Robs a Bank by Snoozy Kazoo and Graffiti Games. You can find it on Xbox Game Pass, Nintendo Switch, and most PC game launchers like Steam and the Epic Games Store. It's a fantastically fun and hilarious experience that I can't recommend enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wanted to take a second to thank our channel's first ever sponsor, 3D Resin Solutions. 3D Resin Solutions provides unmatched quality for your resin 3D printing needs. That means you're getting the most out of your 4K and 8K printers. Resilient and reliable 3D Solutions has a resin for you. And I'm personally a big fan of the standard HD and dark cool gray, as I notice much more clear defined shadowing in my prints. If you want to try out the best resin on the market in my opinion, and support the channel, check out the affiliate link below in the comments, or in the description. Any purchases have a small percentage that go towards the channel and help me continue to have the opportunity to create these videos. I wanted to take the chance to thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support the channel further without having to feel like you have to purchase something, you can just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, that way you always know when I upload a video. And as always, you guys have a good one.